Hello fellow humans and welcome to another episode of Your Replays. And if you want to send in your replays, put them down in my Discord server, link in the description. Today we're going to have a look at first the Kranwagen, a tier 10 auto reloader with really bad DPM, bad mobility, but excellent turret armor, 9 degrees of gun depression, pretty good accuracy, and the turret is just incredibly good. And that's what makes this thing special, because you have the auto reloader, you have the turret, you can essentially hide in a ditch and then dish out quite a lot of damage. Problem is, the DPM sucks really big time, so if you want to have something better in that regard, you might be, well, better off with a T-57 Heavy. That is a real autoloader, but has 1,000 more DPM, sort of. Now, Mihalos here is doing it right, because that object, I don't know what he's doing, but he's just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. You don't want to do that with the Object 260. The Object 260 is a very fragile vehicle, so the last thing you want to do is push out in the open. And now here, there's one thing I want to know. If there's a tank destroyer back there, this would have ended very badly. There's two 183s on the enemy team, so could have been a bit more careful there, but it worked out quite nicely because the 183s are positioned a lot further back, which is a good thing. At this point, could have used the speed boost, to be honest, to get a bit closer to the 183s. But then again, with the reload, it wouldn't have mattered because he would have had to reload quite a while anyway. So there's that. Now, 4 versus 5 in this situation, which isn't really great, especially also because the IS-7 is very dead soon. But equalized it 4v4 with a now 2-1 full HP 183s right there, which is not very healthy. You don't want that. It's not good, but still full HP, which is very good. And if you've watched my STB1 video, quite a couple of time ago, I mean, I'm making it right after that one, but it's going to come out in 2 weeks. But anyway, if you watch the STB1 video, you're going to see if you preserve your hit points towards the end, then you can get a lot of stuff done, especially also when your team or the enemy team doesn't really have any hit points left. The problem now is the last one that was actually alive was that one-shot IS-7. And now it is a 1 versus 4. Which is quite hard to do, especially in a vehicle that is relatively slow and has low DPM because you can't really run away. So ideally, what you want to do here is take out one of the 183s. Now you can clip either of them, which just send it. There we go. Beautiful. Now the other one would have been technically easier to take out because he had less HP, but it would have been quite the hassle to move around, to take him out, all those kind of things. And now the grill is the easiest target. So you focus on the grill, take out the grill with the HE. The grill hasn't been using a spore liner, so he's gonna get his ass kicked there. And now, what is he doing? I mean, this is the luck part as well that is also very important for battles like this. What is he doing? Like, is he out of ammo? Is he out of brain cells? Is he, like... What is he trying to achieve here? And it just does 300 damage. Like, what is that? What is he doing? And now, the TVP, which is surprisingly the biggest threat, is the one that is left alive. And the TVP can reload, and the TVP can kill the Kranwagen here because Kranwagen has 1,000 hit points, TVP 1,200 something clip. So, can be killed. Gotta be careful. And the TVP can also unload extremely quickly, so you don't want to be in a situation like this. But, unfortunately, it is sad. I have baited you because it does not end well, unfortunately. 6.2k damage. TVP was in fact able to take out the Kranwagen, but it is an ace nonetheless. But it is not a Kolobanov, sadly. Now, was there any mistake? Not really. Was it a great game? Yes, it was. And now, we move on to the second one in the KPZ-50T, a vehicle that they haven't really sold yet, but let's look at the stats anyway. 3.6k DPM, 320 alpha damage, 0.3 accuracy, 8 degrees of gun depression, powder weight ratio of 20, 51 degrees traverse speed, and armor that is somewhere between a Leopard 1 and an E50M. Like, it doesn't have quite the armor of the E50M, but it also has some elements of a Leopard, because what this is, essentially, is just an E50M and a Leopard smushed into one tank with lower alpha damage. But lower alpha damage is often not really a great sign, and this is also not a great sign either here, because the team has just decided to do the dumbest possible thing you can do on this map, and that is to push the hill from this spawn. That's about the dumbest thing you can do. But it is gonna work out. Maybe it's gonna work out. And maybe you could like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, you don't want to do this on this map because there's no cover to get up there, especially in a heavy tank. The Object 260 once again has proven that the Object 260 is a very delicate vehicle that if not played properly, that will happen. Now, we got a Jaegeru there, just sitting out in the open, and here's the thing. One thing about all great games require dumb enemies, pretty much. There are some great games that are working out despite great enemies, but in 95% of cases, you get a good game by having dumb enemies. And in this case, not only the enemy team is not really that great, given that they are doing that, the own team has also not really positioned themselves in a way you want to do on this map. Now, there's not a lot of map control. If you look at the mini-map, it's just some kind of tiny corridor that the team's in, which isn't really ideal, but it can work out, obviously, if the enemy team is worse, because here's the thing. You don't have to be good at this game. Like, it's okay to not be a good player. All you have to be is better than the others. Because if you're that, you're gonna win. Because no matter how much you're doing wrong, no matter how badly you play, as long as the enemy is worse, you're still going to win. So keep that in mind. All you have to do is not be the worst. And there are plenty of really bad players in this game. So if you're down there, please try. It's easy. All it takes is a bit of effort. And not playing on a 7-year-old phone on your toilet. Ideally, that can help, not doing that. Obviously, I'm playing on PC, got a massive advantage there, but the hardware can also be a factor that is very rarely talked about. But like, if you play on a tiny phone, like I started playing on an iPhone 4, it can also pull you down. So keep your hardware in check and play the game on something that is passable, ideally. Now, passable is not what this team is because they have combusted, and it is now 3 versus 5, which is very much doable. Especially when that Jagdpanzer keeps sitting out in the open. Please, Jagdpanzer, what are you doing? Now, the KPZ-50 is called I Stole Your PP, which is lovely. Just A+ for the nickname. You get a medal. I mean, you don't get a medal, but you get a virtual medal here. So, at this point, all I can tell you is that Object 268 is going to play a big role later on. But first, that is why the KPZ-50T probably hasn't been sold yet, proper, and has only been in crates. Because this thing, if played correctly, it's got the DPM and it's got the third armor to absolutely mince an entire enemy team. Like, it's an STB-1 on steroids, and the steroids have also caused it to shrink its gun. Which is that's how it works. And now, I'm just gonna brawl with the E4 here. Keep brawling with the E4. But there is an object. The object's a one-shot. Object's the easier target. Great target selection right here. Taking out the object. And now get behind the E4. The E4 doesn't have a fully traversal turret, so there's not much you can do about it. And now you can perfectly finish off. And now get forward to avoid the Object 268. This is lovely right here. You see the target selection. Taking out the Object 140. He's a one-shot. He's easy to kill. He could be a pain in the ass. Take out the Object 140. And you get behind the E4 and take him out. So that is amazing gameplay right there. Very well done. And now, from well done to steak. Steak, well done. Because this guy's cooked in the brain. I don't know where I went with that, but bear with me. That Object 268 has already taken 2 shots. Now, in his interest, it's very easy to win this game. Because the KPZ-50T is a one-shot. It's only got 558 hit points. So it doesn't even have to roll that high. But it misses. And that's where we're back to the luck again. Now, that's part. Have the enemy be worse than you, and be lucky that the enemy is bad. Which is very lovely. So keep that in mind as well. You can't win all battles. If you're in a situation like this, luck does play a factor. It's not just your skill. Obviously, it tremendously helps to be a good player, but luck also plays a role. Keep that in mind, because otherwise you're just gonna get mad, right? If you bounce a shot from, like, I don't know, a gray plate, and then that's where you lose, well, unlucky. Oof, happens, which is very unfortunate. But what's also very unfortunate is the time. There's only 30 seconds left on this game, which isn't good, because that object does still have quite a bit of HP. And he's now sitting in a corner. There we go. Which is very bad, because you don't want to have that guy facing you. Now, can you peek him? Yes, you can, because another thing is, get fast. Been saying this a lot of times, but if you peek like this, like you peek very quickly, very directly, and you have good turret armor, and get lucky, then you get games like this. So well done. I stole your PP. And if you have your PP still intact, then be wise with it, because otherwise, I don't know, don't stick it into a blender or anything. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Very lovely game. And don't forget to send me your replays if you have any. Bye.